Hello, welcome back everyone. This is part 3 of our introduction to GNS3, the quick and dirty version. This series of videos is geared toward intermediate to advanced users who just want to get GNS3 up and running really quickly and get started with network sims. So the last video we got all the way up to installing VMware Workstation Pro, and I linked you up with another video on my channel on how to finish the installation once you or complete the installation once you've downloaded the VMware Workstation Pro client. So if you finish that video, welcome to the next video in the series. Now we're gonna start with the downloading and installation of the GNS3 virtual machine. Now I want to give you a disclaimer really quick here. So you might see on the screen this is version 2.2.12. In one of my videos, in the first video was 2.2.11, I had to record a portion of the segment, and that's why you see 2.2.12 here. It doesn't matter. You just make sure you're downloading. If you download GNS3 version 2.2.12, make sure that your GNS3 virtual machine is also the same version. Okay, the two versions have to be in sync. So the first thing we're going to do, if you've navigated to gns3.com, let's go back to the home page. What you'll see here is the current version. Okay, and you want to click that, and it's going to bring you to this screen here. And you've already downloaded the client, and what we're going to do now is we're going to download the VM. Now there are 4 options here. If you're running this on VirtualBox, you select that option. If you're running it on VMware Workstation or Fusion, you download that option. If you're running it on VMware ESXi, download that option, and the same goes for Microsoft Hyper-V. So whatever client you're using, or whatever operating system or virtualization platform you're using, you can utilize one of these. For those who are ultra advanced, you can actually download any one of these and you can convert it. Well, I'm not sure about Microsoft Hyper-V, but I know for all of these, you can download the VM and you can convert that to a KVM compatible host or virtual machine to run it on Linux virtualization. So if you got a Linux server and you want to run the GNS3 virtual machine within the KVM or whatever your Linux virtualization platform is, you can do it that way as well. You can convert it. There's also another way too, and I've done this before, and this is by compiling the GNS3 virtual machine from source code. That's a cool video that I'm probably going to end up doing because I just love to do these types of things. So we're working with VMware Workstation Pro, so we'll go ahead and click download, and it'll start. Now this is going to take, on my machine it says 8 minutes, so I'll see you back here shortly. Okay, so once you've finished downloading the GNS3 virtual machine, you navigate to the folder where you stored it, that download. For me, it's 2.2.11, and as I said previously, if the latest download or the latest version for you is 2.2.12 or greater, that's fine. So right click, extract all if you're using the Windows built-in zip tool. For me it's 7-zip, so I'm just going to extract it to this folder here. And once it's finished extracting, then you just double click the image and select the tool that you want to use or the software that you want to use to import the image. So I'm using VMware Workstation Pro, I'm going to click OK and then just follow along. First thing I want to do is the virtual network editor. I want to be explicit in which I don't want to auto bridge. Let's just put it that way. All right, so here we've got and so what I do is I come into the virtual network editor, and you see how this is bridged, auto bridging. I don't want to automatically bridge. So for vmnet 0, I'm going to make it bridge to the wireless adapter. Okay. And then I'm going to add a network, and I'm going to call this vmnet 3. And I'm going to make this bridge as well, and I'm going to bridge it to my physical Ethernet port. That's the way I do it on mine. You can leave yours as vmnet 0 with with automatic bridging. That's up to you. For me, I do it this way. It just works better. Okay. So once you apply it, it's going to go and stop the relevant processes and restart them. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to edit the virtual machine settings. Well, first, I don't know which version of VMware they use to build this VM. First thing I'm going to do is upgrade the VM. And then upgrade it to workstation 15.x. Okay. I'm going to alter this virtual machine. It's going to take a little bit to do that. It's fairly quick. Alright, it's done. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to edit the virtual machine. Okay, so I'm going to give it so I'm going to come in here, I'm going to change the memory. So I have 64 gigs of RAM on my workstation, and I'm going to give it all but 8 gigs of that RAM, right? So I'm going to give it, let's pull up my calculator here. There we go. I'm going to give it all but 8 of my gigs. So 64 minus 8 is 56. 57,344. That's the first thing. Next, I'm going to give it 2 virtual processors and 2 cores. Actually, we can leave this here. What we're saying is we're going to share all of the available processing. Okay, so this is really, I have a Core i7, and it has 8 processor cores. I'm going to utilize all of those processor cores for my virtual machine. What that means is this will allow me to maximize the number of virtual machines that I can create in my GNS3 instance. Okay, and that's all we're going to do for now. The display is not significant because this is not a graphical instance here. So there we go. There's one more thing we're going to do, and I'll tell you why as I'm doing it. I'm going to create another, I'm going to add a network adapter, and I'm going to bridge this to a custom virtual network. So remember when I first launched VMware and imported the GNS3 VM, the first thing I did is I edited the virtual machine the VMware Workstation Pro network stack, and I added a custom VMnet so that I can break apart my bridging. Okay, so this, me personally, I have different setups. There are some times where I use my Ethernet, the physical Ethernet port on my workstation, and then sometimes when I use the wireless LAN port with my workstation. Okay, either way, I need to have this bridged this way because I'm going to also show, as part of this lab, I'm also going to use an external virtual machine, right? A remote server that's running a GNS3 server so that I can add additional bandwidth, horizontal bandwidth, right? We say horizontal because it's not local to my machine. It's horizontal, meaning it spans outward horizontally to other GNS3 servers. This is called building an extended topology. And when you do it this way, you can build an innumerable amount of topologies, really, where you cluster up a bunch of GNS3 servers using the same bridged connectivity. What does bridging mean? Well, this virtual machine is going to share the physical network adapter on my local workstation, and my local workstation, which is connected via Wi-Fi to my router, right? So it has a wireless connection to my wireless router. My VMware workstation is going to get an IP address from that same router. So my local workstation is going to pass connectivity up to my GNS3 virtual machine. And the way that you extend that topology is you have other virtual machine or GNS3 servers that are on different physical hosts that are connected to the same wireless LAN segment. Okay, and I'll show that I'll show that in another video. Just follow along here, and also ask questions in the comments if you need, and we'll get you going if you don't understand what you're seeing. Okay, I'll also put a link to that in the description. So back to what we're doing here. I've created a third network adapter. The network connection is custom, and I'm going to use vmnet3 because that's the one I chose for bridging purposes. Actually, no. I did vmnet0. Okay, that vmnet3 was for the physical connection. vmnet0 is for the wireless connection. And again, if you don't do it that way, that's fine. If you don't have separate bridging for wireless and the physical Ethernet connection, you'll just do bridged here, and because you're doing auto bridging, it'll choose whether you're connected to the physical network or to the wireless network. So once you've done that, click OK. Now we're ready to rock. Now I will say this. I'm okay with the risk of using all 8 processor cores in my workstation for what I'm doing. And the reason I'm okay with that is because I'm developing, and if my machine crashes, I'm okay with it. I'll just power it down, reboot it. No biggie there. But you have to decide if that's appropriate for your setup. If you only want to use two processor cores, that's fine. If you want to use 6, that's fine. 8, that's fine. It's totally up to you. It's not a requirement that you do it this way. Now once I've done that, I'm going to power it up just to make sure it comes on. Okay, so really quickly, while this GNS3 virtual machine is booting up, I just want to say we're going to stop the video here. It's been a really long video. I want to thank you for watching. This has been part 3, which is downloading and configuring the GNS3 virtual machine. The next video is going to be part 4, and in that video we're going to further configure the virtual machine after it boots up, so that we can use the GNS3 software with it. Okay, so again, next video, introduction to GNS3, the quick and dirty version, part 4. See you then. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.